You guys are going to tell us if you think these games obviously are going over or under their week 4 totals. So starting with Kansas City and Philadelphia, this one is set at 54. So Reid, Kansas City has combined with its opponents to put up more than 54 points twice this season. How do we feel about this number?
Oh, sorry, mute switch. Feel like Vince Wyman.
Oh no, he was muted.
Sorry. 54, a rookie mistake there. So what I was talking about was Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. He's thrown a lot of turnovers or turnover-worthy passes in his first 3 games, which is kind of weird, right, for Patrick Mahomes. Over his career, obviously, we know those big-time throws where he catches Tyreek Hill, where he gets Travis Kelce involved. We know that that's the case over the long haul, but this season it hasn't been. The offensive line, there's some issues. But I would argue Kansas City losing and then Philadelphia getting embarrassed on national television, I have this one going over.
Okay, we got 1 vote for the over. Where are you going with this, Geoff?
I don't take unders, so I'm definitely taking the over here. We got Kansas City, and then a defense that got really exposed last week with the Eagles. That was such a bad performance by Philly in all phases, but you did see that, once Jalen Hurts gets a little bit of room and there's some prevent defenses, he'll move the ball, and he'll move it really quickly because he can move it with his legs too. So it's great for overs. Philly does still play at a really fast pace too, which is strange because they don't really protect their defenses, but they're top 10 in terms of pace of play. It's so good for a guy like Patrick Mahomes because it's just going to lead to a couple more possessions most likely. Reid mentioned the turnover factors. Jalen Hurts is throwing, some interception-worthy balls too. That's fine for overs because it just means more turnovers, quicker possessions. I like this one for the over for sure. I think you'll see this creep up to 55 by kickoff.
AJ, you rolling with the over?
I am. I think at this point, when you consider, as you alluded to, Jesse, the Chiefs have allowed a league-high 95 points this season. It's just so hard to even consider taking the under here. You combine that with the fact that Kansas City has scored the 3rd most touchdowns with 12 this year. And that's not even talking about the Eagles and everything Geoff laid out there. Look, at this point, until Kansas City can show me something defensively, I think you have to consider taking the over in all of their upcoming matchups, including this week.
Oh, man, let's go to an NFC West showdown, huh? Who wants it? Little Arizona Rams, 55 here. Couple undefeated teams. Sweet T. Fowler, your mic's on now. Where are you going?
Yes, it is. The division game. So division games are always a little bit harder to predict in terms of being bullish. But look, Arizona has scored 30-plus points in their 3 games. And look, the Rams defense, this is the first defense that Arizona is going to face that is going to put up a pseudo fight against them, right? We know that because of how strong that the Rams have been so far this season. But I'm actually going to lean on the under, guys. And if we see both of these teams, right, they played each other extremely hard over the last handful of years. I think when you have a guy like a James Conner in that backfield, and he's not going to be featured, don't worry, Geoff. I'm not saying James Conner is the number 1 play in this game, but you want to control the clock. You have to stop Stafford and this offense somehow. Keep them on the sideline as much as possible because if Stafford and these guys get on a roll, it is going to be lights out for Arizona. So I'm going to go on the under.
All right, Geoff, Mr. Over, come on, dude. Cardinals average more points per game than any team in the league, and we know the kind of talent on that Rams side.
Typical Reid, trying to steal my thunder here, get out in front of me. But yeah, look, this isn't good. I'm going to throw a wrench in the over machine here and go under this one.
What?
55? That's big. Both these defenses are top 12 in terms of limiting pass yards per attempt in terms of passing. That's really good. The Rams can be had a little bit on the ground. But if Arizona starts moving the ball on the ground, it's just going to slow the pace of this game. And I think we got to give some credit to the Arizona defense here. Yeah, they got in a little bit of a shootout there with Minnesota, but last week Jacksonville only scored their points off missed field goals. I mean, it wasn't a big deal there. So the defenses in this game is very good. Reid mentioned it's a divisional matchup. I think you're going to see a close game. And yeah, man, that 55, it is really big. I'd kind of be shocked if this one even approached that, to be honest. So I really like the under in this one.
Okay, AJ, would you be shocked if this actually approached that number?
I won't say I'd be shocked if it approached that number when you consider that the Rams and the Cardinals have combined for 24 touchdowns this season. But as Geoff alluded to, you have to consider these have been 2 of the best defenses. The Rams allowing just 18.3 points per game. The Cards slightly better at 17.3. I agree with the guys. This total at 55 is just so high. It's the highest on the board in week 3. And I think it's over discounting the defenses way too much. And I got to be with the guys on this one and take the under here as well.
Okay.
All right, let's move to Pittsburgh and Green Bay. The total on this one is set at 46. AJ, the combined points per game average of these two teams is 39.4. That is over 6 points fewer than Sunday's over-unders. So what do we think?
Well, I think we have to take week 1 Aaron Rodgers out of the equation, right? I think week 2 is more what we can expect from him. Neither defense here has been bad, but they also haven't been great. They're kind of both just in the middle range here. Look, the biggest thing that points to an over for me in this one is you have two clubs who haven't been very successful running the ball. Just 159 yards on the ground for Pittsburgh. That's the worst in the league. Packers not faring much better at 239 here. And I think this could turn into a QB battle between Aaron Rodgers and a still capable Ben Roethlisberger. And if you're going to throw the ball that much with these two guys, I think you have to look at the over.
All right, Reid, how do we feel about this? Do you want to take the over?
Yeah, I do. I think this is too low for an Aaron Rodgers-led team, especially with Devontae Adams. And look, Aaron Jones hasn't been great getting the ball handed off to him, but he's been a great receiver out of the backfield. I think this keeps on going, right? I think you look at what Pittsburgh can do. Like the status of their wide receivers has to be monitored throughout this week just to make sure. And if the turf monster doesn't get Ben Roethlisberger again, I'm agreeing with AJ here. I think this is too low for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. And Big Ben, he still has some left in the tank, even despite what our eyes are telling us. And he has players on his offense at least. And look, this defense too, on the Pittsburgh side, they're not going to be playing that cover 2 umbrella defense like we've seen against Aaron Rodgers in the first few weeks. Minkah Fitzpatrick and these guys are extremely aggressive. So I do think there is some wiggle room for a defensive changing the field for Pittsburgh to get a shorter field. So yeah, give me the over.
Geoff, you're an overs guy. You going over 46?
Big overs guy. Yeah, look, I won't harp too much on it because these guys have made all the same points I'm going to make. But I really like the over in this one. As much as I like the under in the last game, I'm surprised this total is only 46. Like AJ said, the Steelers can't run the ball. And the Packers don't really have a good pass rush. Neither of these teams really have a good pass rush. We need to stop thinking about Pittsburgh as this elite defense because their defensive line looks like a little bit old in the tooth right now. They're not getting pressure. 0 sacks on Joe Burrow last week. 0 pressures. If you don't get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, he'll put up 46 points on his own. So, yeah, give me the over here. This one looks way too low.